Hey guys, what it does, welcome to Torens Take. We're going to be talking about something interesting and what you need to know about what's coming ahead. But first I want to make sure you subscribe, share, and do all those things because, I mean, you can look it up, but I'm just making this a one-stop shop for what you need to know. Yes, if you haven't guessed already, we're talking about the NHL season coming up, and I'm going to let you know what we're talking about and what's happening with this season. It's a COVID year again, and we're not playing bubble hockey. What are we doing? So I'm going to take you through what you need to know about this NHL season upcoming. So the divisions are going to be a little different this year. They're going to have 4 divisions, and there's been realignment, but only for this year. This is the only year you're going to see the alignment unless we have to do this again next year, and I sure as heck hope we don't. Let's start with the All-Canadian division, or as the NHL is calling it, the North Division. It's going to feature just Canadian teams. So Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Toronto, and Montreal are all going to be in this one division. Then you look out east where it's going to be teams like Boston, Buffalo, New Jersey, the New York teams, the Rangers and the Islanders, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Washington. The Central is going to feature teams like Carolina, Chicago, Columbus, Dallas, Florida, Nashville, and Tampa Bay. As you can see, they're combining West and East teams this time, so it's a little more interesting with it's locally based rather than what's normally kind of doesn't really make sense. Then there's the West with Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, Los Angeles, Minnesota, San Jose, St. Louis, and Vegas. So what you need to know about teams and their divisions. Basically, all these divisions, the teams are only going to be playing in their own division. So they're not going to be playing teams. So if you're in the North Division, you're not going to be playing teams in the West Division. If you're in the East Division, you're not going to be playing teams in the Central Division. You're only playing those teams. In the East, Central, and West, you're only going to be playing each team 8 times. And I say that only. You're only going to see these teams 8 times. That's a ton of times. But if you're in the North, in the Canadian division, there are less teams. So you're going to place each team 9 to 10 times. Can you imagine the Canucks playing the Toronto Maple Leafs 9 freaking times? Yeah. Question, how will playoffs work? So basically the top 4 teams from each division are going to make it, which would create the 16 normal playoffs, the 16 team normal playoffs. And basically the 4 teams are going to play, and it's going to start with like 1v4 and 2v3. So like, let's take the North Division. If Vancouver were to happen to win the North Division, they play, let's say, I don't know, Edmonton in the 4th slot, and then Calgary and Toronto would play in the 2-3 game. That's how that would work. So the teams will then be put into division winners. So each team that wins their division goes into an NHL Final Four, where the winner from each division goes into a little tournament, and then to the Stanley Cup Final, where we will then have a winner. And you could have an East versus East or a West versus West opponent in regular NHL play. Obviously, only in this year are you going to get something like that. If you're wondering how they're going to play with COVID, there's a few things you need to know. Basically, you can't just say you're unfit to play now. That's right, they're gonna tell you if the person tests positive for COVID-19, you're gonna have to tell the world. Close contact players can still play as long as they test negative and remained asymptomatic. The coaches will be wearing masks, and road trips, every player gets his own hotel room. The NHL has introduced a taxi squad team that basically compiles players in case of a positive COVID test, where you could replace the player without having to go through the normal protocols or playing short-handed. Basically what a taxi squad is, it must maintain a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 6 players on each taxi squad team. Each team must have 1 goalie on the taxi squad unless you have 3 goalies on the NHL roster. The team can practice and travel with the team, but they cannot play like in the AHL. It's not like a call-up situation. They're technically on the team, but they're not playing any games or only practicing. So we'll see. It'll be interesting how that works out. If you're interested about the money, you're basically, if you're on one-way player deal, you get your full NHL salary, even if you're just sitting for the entire season. And if you're a 2-way deal, then you're getting paid your AHL salary. Here's some key dates that you're going to want to know for the NHL season. So the season is going to start on January 13th, which is tomorrow. The trade deadline is going to be on April 12th this year. The end of regular season is going to be May 8th. The last possible day for the playoffs is July 15th. So that's the last day we can crown a Stanley Cup champion. The expansion draft for the incoming Seattle Kraken is going to be July 21st. The draft of regular sorts is going to be July 23rd and 24th. And free agency is going to start on July 28th. So that's basically it. That's what this upcoming NHL season is going to feature. It's going to be a real interesting season. We're going to see how it goes. Hopefully this team can do some damage. I don't know if they will or not, but anyway, it's going to be a fun season. Let's see how this goes. If you liked it, please share, subscribe, and we'll see you again what it does. We'll see you around.